Well, hello. What a great introduction to introduce our sponsor. I'm just kidding. I was going to say Great Saddle Legends, but we all know that ain't true. Anyways, welcome back to our lovely flipped classroom. All right, today we are going to be talking about the geographical influences of, still getting used to this, Europe. Let's go. So, anyways, we're gonna talk about the seas now. Okay, so there were like 4 big seas in Southern Europe. The very first one, all right, the very first sea that we're gonna talk about is the Mediterranean. The Mediterranean. All right, so the Mediterranean Sea is the biggest sea in Southern Europe. All right, so the Mediterranean Sea, most countries are touching the Mediterranean Sea that are part of Southern Europe. The second one that we're going to talk about is the Aegean Sea. All right, the Aegean Sea, pretty cool. Pretty cool. It's off the Mediterranean between Greece and Turkey. Not the kind of turkey that you eat for dinner. The third, almost the second, even though I'm not a math teacher, I know my basic maths. All right. Third is the Adriatic Sea. All right, the Adriatic Sea is kind of between Italy and all these other little countries. All right, and lastly, the last one that we'll talk about is the Ionian Sea, my favorite. It just looks amazing. It's like blue. It's pretty cool, and it looks pretty nice. Those are the 4 different oceans. I mean, seas, because they're not big enough to be an ocean. In fact, I bet they're pretty mad that they're not oceans. I couldn't imagine not being an ocean because I would just hate being called. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked again. Let's move on to the second part, shall we? All right, so now it's time to get into some more stuff. Let's go. We're going to be talking about the mountains of Southern Europe. All right, so there's 3 of them. Okay, 3 big mountains. And these 3 things have a few things in common. 1, they're good for natural protection. All right. 2, all right, it makes it difficult for farming. All right. And 3, they also do provide a fresh water source. Let's talk about these 3. Whew. Man, all these climbing, these mountains and stuff. It's crazy. Definitely didn't just see my chair. I'm definitely at the Alps. Alright? I just need to sit down, you know? Alps, a lot of climbing. I couldn't imagine what it would be like if, you know, I was actually climbing all of them. I really was climbing some, okay? I just happened to bring my gaming chair with me because, why not, right? Anyways, all right, the Alps. That's the first one. All right, the second one is lovely, the Apennines. Yes, I just warped to the Apennines Mountains like that. All right. As you can tell, I'm actually here. It's definitely not a stock photo. Who would do that? Hi, Mom. How's it going? I'm in the car. The next and last one, all right, is the Pyrenees. Okay? 3 different mountain ranges. Boom, boom, boom. Easy. All right. So now that we kind of talked about Southern Europe, let's talk about its climate, shall we? All right, so the climate of Southern Europe is, well, as some may say, mild or Mediterranean climate. All right, now what that means is they had warm, dry summers. So in the summertime, it really didn't rain much. It wasn't really humid. But what it was pretty warm. All right, so warm, dry summers, but cool, wet winters. Okay, so that's a little bit about its climate. Now, let's move on to everything else, shall we? So the next part of Europe that we're going to talk about is the Northern European Plain. All right, so let's start talking about this. So as you can see, the Northern European Plain, which is this picture behind me, because of course, like I always say, I'm here. Duh. All right, how else would I be here and you couldn't see my background or anything? It's not like I have a green screen. All right, so the Northern European Plain, all right, was much flatter and than basically Southern Europe. All right, so it had all kinds of flat area. That's the name plain. Okay, it had very fertile soil. So this is where they had a lot of their farms, and Farmer Joe could go and get his crops and sell his crops in the market. All right, and there were many rivers, so a lot of rivers in this area, as well as pretty thick forests. All right, and as you can see, this is it. Okay, so as we can see, we have our lovely rivers. We got the lovely plains. And lastly, that's easier, we got lovely forests. All right, so a little bit about the climate. All right, it had all 4 seasons, just like we have here in Missouri. Missouri, I don't care how you say it. All right, they had spring, summer, fall, winter. Just like we have here, it's cold in the winters. Okay, hot in the summer. Fall, it's cool. Spring, it's cool but a little humid. All right, same goes there. So, the last part that we're going to talk about of Europe is the far northern part. Okay, so the far northern part of Europe, all right, has a few different things in it. All right, the first one is lovely low, rugged mountains. All right. Oh, so low, rugged mountains. As you can tell, they're not like huge, they're not like touching the sky and stuff like that. All right, they're kind of smaller mountains, but they still got them nevertheless. All right. The next thing that we're going to be talking about, all right, is of course everyone's favorite, the glaciers. I mean, who doesn't like the glaciers? There's like polar bears. There's like all kinds of stuff. Polar bears and glaciers, of course. All right, so yeah, definitely. Yeah. Don't tell anyone about the Minecraft picture. It wasn't there. I'm more professional than that. Anyways, glaciers. All right. Pretty cool biome, by the way. In the last one that, you can come across, all right, are fjords. Okay, fjords are pretty crazy. They're cool looking. Basically, when water kind of comes in, kind of erodes all these rocks. It's pretty cool. So a few kind of parts about this. How in the world did all this kind of stuff affect the far northern part of Europe? All right, for starts, all right, it was very hard to farm. If you could imagine trying to farm in snow and in the cold, it doesn't work out too well. All right. Good things is natural protection. All right, the low rugged mountains, the glaciers, the kind of cold, pretty good. All right, and plenty of fresh water. As you can see, our friend over here. This person right here, yep, that I'm pointing to. I think I'm going to name her Jennifer. All right, so Jennifer over here, okay, she's loving this fresh water. And so did everyone else. All right? And lastly, before we leave, obviously we can't end on that dumb picture, right? Because we got to talk about the climate. All right, so the climate, obviously, as you can tell, since it's going to be there's like snow and stuff, is you're going to have cool summers. So in the summer, it's not going to get very hot. All right, but it's going to get pretty cold in the winters. All right, and high levels of precipitation. So if you like the snow, oh, well, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. And you need to find your way over to Northern Europe. That is all the time we have today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time.